all my people out there that are into the paranormal, the ETs, all that good stuff, psychic intuition, and welcome to another edition of Third Eye Sister Souls podcast. I am your host, Monique Brunette, and I am doing an interview today with a lifetime experiencer, just like me. Her name is Kathleen Tedder, and she has some mind-blowing experiences that she's going to share today. Now, before I bring the attention on to Kathleen Tedder, I will tell you a little bit about her background. She has worked in the medical field as an EMT3, which and a medical technician for about 15 years. She has also been a volunteer firefighter for about 3.5 years, and then worked 17 years, volunteered 17 years with the American Legion. So I am now going to present to you Kathleen Tedder. Oh, and welcome.
Thank you, Monique. I'm so happy to be here. And I want to let you know you're the first female that has gotten to interview me. I
Oh,
have two more ladies coming, but I jumped you in front.
yay. And always happy to have that.
Yeah, I have two more interviews scheduled, but like I said, I made sure I got you in because we wanted to do this.
Oh,
We did.
yes, yes, we
Yeah.
did. And also to my viewers out there, if you are new to my channel, it would be a huge favor if you can like and subscribe because we are both on the same kind of mission. Me, Monique Burnett, and uh, Kathleen Tedder here. We are trying to help and assisting in the awakening that is very important and essential to humanity right now. So, anyways, with that being said, I'm going to go ahead and let Kathleen Tedder talk to us a little bit about um, her history and also when her experiences began. So if you want to give us a little bit of your background, I touched a little bit on it about your work history and that, but if there's anything that you would like to add, go ahead and
Oh, there are so many different things, but no, we'll leave it there with my physical 3D work history. We
okay.
don't need that as much as we need the information of the spiritual side of things.
It's you are 100,
So
200% correct. So tell us, when did you start to experience this phenomena or these encounters and stuff? When did that all start for you?
I was 4 years old. I remember being 2 years old, but people don't think that I really do. So I leave that story out. But at 4 years old, we were in Alaska, and my parents were musicians, and so they were gone at night, and we had different babysitters. And this one night, I was sleeping, and there was a terrible lightning and thunderstorm outside. It was horrible. It was very scary. And I sat up. I was wide awake and in fear, but I was too scared to get up and go see who was babysitting and, to go get help. And all of a sudden, I looked in my doorway, or my doorway lit up, let me kind of say that, with a really bright aura of a beautiful, beautiful lady.
Oh,
And
that's good.
she was standing, she was so beautiful, and she glowed, but it's not like the glow you would think. It was more like her aura was a beautiful white shiny uh anyway, it wasn't like a light, but it
Like
was like,
like
but it
an
was light.
like an angel, would you say? Or
Yes, but she looks just exactly like a human, so I didn't think of Angel right away. I was 4 years old,
I mean, a
even though I,
human version of angel, not a biblically
yes, true. And she
biblically
had this
accurate.
beautiful long, beautiful red hair, and
Okay.
she had this dark robe on. I believe it was dark blue, but it could have been black. I was little. And she kind of she floated over. I always thought about that she, because I couldn't see her feet. I never got to really see her feet, but I think she kind of floated over, and she sat on the bed beside me, And she took my hand and she said, "Why are you afraid?" And I said, "Well, lightning, thunder, I'm scared." And this was telepathic. I didn't know that until I'm much older, but
Okay.
no words were exchanged. And she did a little thing with her hand, and the room lit up very, very bright, like a flash bulb went off in my eyes.
Wow. Okay.
Now, around me, all around me, as far as I could see, were different beings, grays, Sasquatch, insectoid, you name it. Okay, not just those ETs, but little people that looked just like us that were about 2 feet tall. I thought they were so adorable, and truly flying monkeys and shapes that I haven't yet seen or can imagine on in this earth and this lifetime.
And these
And
didn't
she
scare
said,
you?
"You see these?" And oh, and when I looked at them, and I looked as, I just really took it all in as a little girl looking at all these people. They were all sending me love and
Oh, good.
smiling. You know what I mean?
To keep you from feeling
They took
insecure.
over, they just took over my whole being with love.
Okay.
And because there was no room between them, they were like all together, but yet, as far as I could see, I sometimes think either she opened all the dimensions that I needed to see in this universe, or she took me to the dimensions. I don't know exactly,
Wow. Okay.
I'm thinking about that. That's been a new thought for me lately. But she said, "You're never alone. You don't have anything to be afraid of." And then she just let go of my hand and kind of floated out. And I was so smiling and happy and full of love. And I laid down and went to sleep. And I never forgot that because I thought like, oh man, I have a fairy godmother. Probably I don't know if that was the year that one of the Disney movies came out, but I don't know. But that's kind of what I always felt, that somewhere deep inside, I always knew she'd be there if I needed her. I've actually not physically seen her in this lifetime though again, but I have felt her and I know she saved my life twice that I know of. So anyway, so that's where it began. And I after many years of processing, I feel as if she opened those doors and let me introduce my being to their beings, and or if not, perhaps they were part of my star family and we were already familiar from past lives. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Maybe.
Can
I mean,
you
there's that thought.
can you explain for those people who are so new to this, what you mean by star families and that so they can get a better understanding?
Any sentient being from here to the heavens, out there in our universe, or are they're related to us in our DNA. They're related to us, and so
And this
to
would
me,
be
they're the
why.
star beings, just
Why?
because that's sort of a Native American term, and I adopt a lot of their practices and beliefs,
Uh,
and
as do I.
so
Yes. And and
yeah.
and this would be uh it would make sense to be a very good reason as to why we are having, have been having throughout history visitations from them. Uh,
Exactly, exactly. And I think she wanted me to be familiar in this life because, of course, we forget when we come into this world if we've had any other lives. She wanted me to remember them because they're going to start appearing in my life. And
wow.
all my life, that's what's been happening, and I didn't even realize these things until the last few years. And, I've had time to slow down and think about what the heck.
You're just like, well, I guess I'm just going to roll with it.
I've never been harmed. I've never had fear. I've never had a demonic entity in
That's
any
good.
sort of way, but I have had practice in how to remove those through a shaman friend of mine. And I got a lot of studying and work with him for 5 years. And so, I feel I have protection and have skill to help others. If
Fantastic.
in fact I see that on their body, I see their energy or I see something dark on them, I can work on
And
it
that's
energetically.
so important because there's a lot of people who are going through and they don't understand why they, just have gone into this sudden terrible depression and that, and they
Right.
don't even, a lot of people don't even uh, fathom the idea that dark entities or whatever could be the reason behind those feelings. So, yeah, so go ahead.
Entities, parasites, archonic manipulators, and then we have our cabal, because we're not supposed to say government.
Right, right. And of course, we're going to
But we have
have
them
to
manipulating us in the Wi-Fi zone, our energetic bodies. So, and they have this some kind of where they can speak to your mind and tell you things and manipulate you. So, we have to be aware of everything
yes.
to be at our sharpest. And I do that through prayer, and I know you do too.
Mhm.
So, and meditation, of course, but mostly prayer. And so we got this. We got this. And my life started there, and my second big event in at age 4, which is dearest to my heart, so I always like to talk about that other than the lady. Uh, I was sitting at the table in Alaska still playing with something, toys, coloring, I don't know. And our door would open at halfway. It would just open and there was no screen. So we had this kitchen door that was wide open. It was had to be spring because cherries and everything, cherries were on the tree and everything was beautiful and green and the door was open, right? And this is Alaska. So
Wow.
spring for Alaska is whatever time of year it was. And I'm sitting at the table looking out at the beautiful cherry tree, and I'm seeing I started, I don't know what if it got my attention or if I was already looking out, but all of a sudden, and it could have been sudden because they do pop in and out. We'll get back to that, but uh the most beautiful, handsome man bear, about 8 foot tall, about 8 foot tall, beautiful, kind of a reddish brown coloring, and he was eating cherries from the cherry tree. And as I look at cherry trees these days, since I was only 4 then, I estimate he was about 8 foot tall.
Okay.
And he turned and he looked at me and we made eye contact and he smiled at me and I fell in love. I mean, I already loved animals. We had dogs, I already loved pets, but I was in love with this man bear. I mean, it was like a protector, my safe zone. And since then,
And I bet you never looked at cherry trees differently after that. I mean, had a whole different perspective seeing them.
well, I got up from the table, opened the bottom part of the door, and I was running outside to give the man bear a hug. And I really felt he would have just patted me on the head or something, and I don't know. I was headed out the door, and somehow, God bless my father, he grabbed me by the seat of the pants, literally, and I remember him pulling me through the air and then slamming the door.
Oh no. Okay.
Yeah, we never talked about that, but later on in life, he let me know. He took me to a museum that was, we'll talk about that if you want to, in Oregon, that way back when I'm about 9 years old, which was a lot of years ago, uh, my dad found this gentleman who had a Sasquatch museum already, and he had it secret. It was secret. It was locked up with big chains. It was back in a big, you had to drive into this ranch to get to it. I have no idea where it was. It was about somewhere like about 25 minutes out of Eugene, Oregon, but I still haven't pinpointed it for sure. And so my dad takes me to this place, and this man unlocks the locks and takes us in, and it's a museum, and it's amazing. It had not only Sasquatch items, it had giant bones,
Wow. Okay.
yeah, yeah. And I'm 9 years old, and my father and the gentleman kind of walked off to talk alone. But I looked, and there was about a 9 foot Sasquatch bear, man bear, what I thought still to this day
Huh.
is man bear, standing in a corner. And I went over to it. It looked so real. To this day, I honestly wonder if that was not taxidermy. I touched it. I was all over that. The whole, after a little while, I let go of it and I wandered through the museum, but they stayed talking off where I couldn't hear. But this was my dad's way of acknowledging to me that what we saw
And he
in
saw it
Alaska.
too. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So that was so real, but then again, it broke my heart because I'm seeing this great
Right.
big thing that's possibly taxidermied because it was
So
just no
why
kind
would
of
you do
fabric.
something like that to,
No, no, no. And this, like I said, this man had chains, big chains around this big, huge garage type place, metal garage
uh,
place. And anyway, I wandered through. I read things. I saw bones of the giant. I was amazed. He had a whole museum, and but I mainly remembered the giant Sasquatch. So I have always been aware of them in my life.
mhm.
And
That's the first time I've ever heard anybody say man bear. That's a
oh,
first.
that's I called him that until I started knowing what Bigfoot or Sasquatch were,
Okay.
yeah, yeah, man bear.
You,
And so anyway, that was my confirmation. But when I was 9, I well, we had a house. My mom had just bought us our first home, and she had somebody break in when my sister and I were not home, and she had had steak for dinner, and there was a steak knife in her kitchen. And when she woke up in the morning, she saw that steak knife on the bed beside her,
right.
right?
That's pretty scary.
And our laundry was clean and done, but when she went out to the living room, our naughty laundry, unders and bras, whatever, were all over the house.
Oh, geez.
So it scared my mother so severely that she put 3 big bolt locks on each door at our house. One went down into the cement floor. And
Understandably
so
so.
it was difficult for anybody to get in and out. You had to wait, unlock, and. Then there was a key lock.
Yeah.
Anyway, so we had these bolts on front and back door. And the windows were jalousie like they have in Florida, those old little 3-inch slotted. Anyway, my
Correct.
point is I couldn't get out of the house. And I was again about 9 because that was the year she bought the house. And outside my bedroom window was the most beautiful oak tree. And so we go to bed that night. All is well. The bolts are on, everything. And the next day is a school day and a work day for everybody. And so I go to sleep, and that I remember going to bed. And then in the morning, all of a sudden, I hear my mom unbolting the lock, saying, hollering, "Where are you? We gotta get to school. Blah blah blah." And I hear her. I literally am waiting, and I sit up, and I realize I have my quilt that my grandmother made me and my pillow.
Wow.
Yeah, and it was laid out very beautifully, like it was laid out perfect. And I had been laying back, and she opens the door and come on, get in here. What are you doing out there? She never even thought about how I got out there. And when I sat up, the first thing that rushed over me was how good I felt. And I'm 9 years old. How would I not know what good feels like or something? But I got overwhelmed with a good feeling
Well, that's good. That's better
all
than
day.
a
Yeah,
lot of
it
bad
kept
feelings.
coming over in my mind, and I kept thinking maybe I should sleep outside under the oak tree more. So I tried. It didn't work. So I have a few little light memories of that experience, but with Dr. Melanie Barton Bragg that you interviewed
Yes.
recently,
Okay.
she put me under QHHT hypnosis 22 or 23, I can't remember, January. Anyway, what an amazing experience. And she helped me because she didn't do, but her
Uh,
God-given
Good
words
bonding.
did. She
Right.
guided me back to memories and opened things up and said it in a way to leave it open for more memories.
Right.
And yes, and so much has been coming out. So much more has been happening since then. And so I realized I I always suspected, and I had a vision in my third eye or my mind of a gray. And I always suspected, but with the hypnosis, it came clear as a bell, clear as a bell. I had been on craft, and I don't remember getting there. I just remember opening my eyes, and I'm laying down, and my gray has my hand, my right hand. I remember this and I looked over at it. I was not paralyzed. I felt a little sleepy, like in a dream state, but not paralyzed whatsoever. And I looked over to the right and I saw three littler grays, but they didn't connect to me like they were robotic, possibly,
Mhm.
or unemotional. I don't know which, but he connected in all kinds of ways, and everything was telepathy with him and I, which
Right.
I again didn't realize until I'm much older
That's usually the
that's what I
way
was
to
doing.
communicate.
Yeah,
Huh?
yeah. And so it was like an old friend, okay? When I saw him and consciously, it was like we'd known each other forever. So I think that was one of the people in the when I was age 4 that showed up when she opened the dimensions. Is kind of
Well,
what I
I'm
think.
glad that you're bringing this up because this is something time and time again I've been trying to have my viewers to understand because as humans, we tend to classify, well, this race is good, that race is bad, but you can't do that. Humans, not every human is good and not every human is bad. Why wouldn't it be any different with the ET races? Because automatically people assume grays are all bad, they're all non-feeling and that, and that's not the case. Most, maybe there's I mean, the most that doesn't mean most of the entire population, but the most ones maybe that have come in contact with human, many of them are that way. But I'm glad you're clarifying that they're not all, just like not all reptilians are bad and not all Pleiadians
Right.
are good.
Right. Exactly. That's true. You're right. In all, I believe in all races, there's
There's,
maybe not the heavenly higher up, more higher dimensional ones, but definitely on the ones, closer to
yes.
our dimension that we would be in, third, fourth, fifth, wherever we land these days. But yes, so that was my first ET wake up call and experience as far as being through some people call it an abduction. I call it an experience, and it was a blessing. It was not anything fearful. And on the craft, I found that I could leave my body. And I thought, that's cool. That's cool because I could see my body laying there fine. Nobody was hurting it. It was just like it was asleep. And I go up. I wanted to look around. I'm very curious and I wanted to look around. So I could tell it was circular. So it was definitely, and it was big, bigger than what you could imagine, as a little girl. And I also could tell that was just one room of this thing. So I have no idea what and where I went or what they did. But I left my body and I'm flying around and I realized my man bear, the one I saw when I was 4,
Mhm.
was in the room and he was doing things with technical things that I didn't know back then. You know what I'm saying?
Correct.
TV screens. We'll just say he was doing things with something. And at first he had his back to me, and I'm in out of body now. And
Right.
he
Pretty amazing.
turned and he smiled. He smiled again, and I just was right back connected to that 4-year-old Sasquatch.
That's
I
beautiful.
don't think they're all clones, so I don't think it was a different one. I really felt the same love of the one I first met. And then he asked me to come back to my body. They had to do some things. I don't know what exactly. Uh, so I did.
Okay.
But then I thought, oh, that was so fun. I have to do it again. And I left again.
Wow. Well, how lucky
I
you are
popped
to
out
have.
again. I can only do that on craft. I could never do it. Well, I have done it. I can do it, but not, I don't have the skill yet and the knowledge to manage it. It just comes when it comes. But anyway, so I left again and I wanted to see around the circle of the room. So I went a little further beyond Man Bear and there was I'm going to say 6 foot mantis being female. and
Wow.
she had a long robe on, a long robe that kind of mostly hid her body, but I remember her, her hands were this way, but she had a clipboard, or what I thought of as a clipboard, or a tablet, but they didn't have tablets like we do now, but back then for sure. But she had something in her hand, and she was a little further over to my side. And then he said, "Please, will you get back in your body? We have to get this done." And I went back in, and he put some kind of a rod, metal. It looked metal, but I don't think it was, because it looked very light. But anyway, he put this thing and he did a body scan over me, and he kind of did twice over my throat. And then he went down towards my stomach, very slow, very slow,
It didn't
twice over
hurt.
my female organs. No, 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 I didn't feel anything. He just asked me to lay still, and I did. And then I kind of remember him doing it twice at my feet, and then I don't remember much else from
No.
that experience. Uh, Little bits and pieces of things come back, but mostly that was it. And then, like I said, I woke up under an oak tree,
Wow.
feeling good. Whatever they did, thank you, because for a
Yes.
little girl to suddenly feel good, that's saying something. I mean, that's a whole new feeling that
Well, I have
most of us on Earth don't understand or feel.
I've heard sometimes that they do, and I believe in my own experiences have also, they can do healings on you. They can find the particular things that are affecting your physical body and that, and actually do healings on you. And I was interested when you said about the oh, I let's pause a moment with the meeting because I need to continue it.
Okay.
I just got a notice saying that it's going to stop at 10 minutes. So we are going to go ahead and get ready to start our to continue.
Okay.
Fascinating story.
Thank you. It's a reality I've been trying to process for many years.
Yeah. You're doing a beautiful job of what you're telling us. It's very
Well,
interesting.
I'm doing it for other young people. I mean, I was young. I never told anybody of these experiences. There was nobody in my life really to talk to anyway. Um, you know, I had a fun childhood. I made it fun. But my mother was an alcoholic, and she was the only parent, and we didn't have brother. I didn't have a brother. I didn't have any males in my world except a couple cousins that were military that guided me. Thank God bless them. And there wasn't much or anyone that could understand what I had experienced. So there was nobody to talk to about it.
Okay.
So, yeah.
All right. Well, we are going to continue this meeting in just a moment. So
Okay.
I'm going to stop recording right now. We had to take a small break, and we are back. And I am talking here with Kathleen Tedder, and I'm going to let her continue about her fascinating experiences as an experiencer, a lifetime experiencer. Go ahead, Kathleen.
Uh, I, I'm not sure where we left off, but we can just keep moving on because I have so many experiences that it will take all day.
Off about that what you come away from it and you believe that you possibly had a healing. This was when you were a
Okay.
child.
Okay. Okay. Well, after that, at age 9, I learned that I don't know if they helped me learn this, or if it was just something that genetics, or if it was a heavenly intervention. I don't know, but I learned that my older sister, who would kind of boss me around, she wasn't my mother, and I didn't appreciate
I
it.
have
So
one of those.
so she would swing on me, and I was littler and she was bigger and older, and so anyway, I would run out. I'd cuss at her and run out the door and run down the street because she wouldn't run outside. She was a TV inside girl, and I was an outsider, and so I would do that, and then I would sneak around and I would crawl up on the roof. And
Oh,
when I did this, I would look up in the sky, and for some reason, it seemed like these special clouds would be there for me. And they would be those Florida small marshmallow clouds that are a little bunched up here and there, not very many
Right.
of them.
Right.
Yeah, and I would sit down and I would be so angry at her that I couldn't stay, she wouldn't leave me alone and I had to do chores and you know what you do when you're little. And I would look at them. I would pick one. If there was three, I'd pick the middle one, so to speak. Or if there were two, I'd pick a left, something like that. And I would just sort of focus my third eye. And for some reason, I realized I was making that cloud disappear through the energy, and I could feel the energy pulling out. And it was like sort of like pulling my anger out, to be honest. You
Wow.
know, yeah, yeah. But at the same time, got a hair in my mouth. Uh, it happened every time I tried it, and every time I was mad, and you know what I mean. And I did that for quite a few times. And I got a watch for Christmas somewhere in there, and I started timing to see how fast I could do it, and I found I could do it within 5 minutes. So I was pretty impressed.
That
But
is
then after a while, I forgot about doing it. I just didn't think about doing it, and I was probably still around 11, 12 at that age, when I realized that. Then a little bit older than 12, I started getting the feeling, just the intuition to give readings to people by holding their jewelry, sort of like how you do.
psychometry.
And I would hold it, it had to be a metal. It could be gold, silver, but whatever, copper, but it had to be a metal. But for some reason, earring, anything, I could hold it and I could give them all of a sudden I'd get past, present, future.
Mhm.
Just real quick. It'd be less than 5 minutes of talking, but I would tell them I saw this happen and then now and now you want the answer to, and then I would see their future, like if they're going to travel, right? Or
Right.
have a baby or get married, all those things. So, and then I found I had that gift and I thought, oh, this is nice. Interesting,
What you
very
need,
interesting.
right?
Yeah. And then I realized that I was getting readings without handling anything
Nice.
at times on certain people too. As I got older, I realized that. And then I started playing with tarot cards and learned that fairly well back then. But I had an experience. Uh, it's kind of a heartbreaking experience, but I think I'll tell you because I love you. You know that.
I love you back.
We're definitely spiritual sisters. And I was 18 and I was invited to a mansion in Macon, Georgia, to be with some of my friends who were very famous musicians. That's a whole nother story. And there was a whole house full on this farm, and it was just going to be a wonderful time. And I went with this young man that was years older than me who watched out for me, to be honest, I think since I was 12 years old. And he was a musician, songwriter, blah, 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 and still is today,
Oh, that's
and he's always been like a brother, just a brother, just
that's
somebody I
good.
love dearly. And he drugged me around all over to studios and to concerts and you name it. And he always looked out for me really well. And anyway, so off to Georgia we go, and I have my tarot deck, and I want to practice on some people up there, and uh, did the studio thing, just had a blast. But anyway, I don't normally give this name out, so I'm giving you the honor even before my book is finished,
Only if
uh,
you're comfortable.
because I don't like to name names. It's not important to me. You know what I'm saying? It's everybody's equal. There's no ups, downs, higher, lowers, just I had some great experiences and I'm proud of them and I like to share them. Anyway, so I, Greg Allman asked me if I would read his cards for him.
Wow. Very
Okay.
cool.
Now I've never said his name before.
Mhm.
It's in my book, I believe. My book is pretty honest. Uh, and I'm working on it slowly, very slowly, but I'm working on it. Uh,
Fantastic.
okay, so he and I leave everybody. We go to this one quiet room and I do the cards, and all these cards that are negative or could be negative or spell out death.
Hmm.
seemed to come up. Okay.
Wow.
And I was kind of shocked. I'd never seen them all come up in one hand. And I only do like, I think I was doing seven card. Don't remember. Something like that. So I said, oh, wait, let me do that again. And I shuffled. And I mean, I shuffled the life out of those cards and I had him hold them for a second. And then I did it again. The same cards came up. Now that can't happen. I
Wow.
mean, that is like 1,000,000 to 1 or something. I don't know what it is, but
Definitely. The odds of,
and I'm kind of shocked because his history was he was known as he used drugs, right?
right.
And I had heard from probably somebody close that he had used heroin.
Wow.
And I'm thinking in my head, oh my God, this is the first time I see somebody's going to die. He's going to die. And I'm thinking of a drug overdose. Okay. And I'd experienced that with a friend previously that year. So it was like, okay, I haven't trouble with all the noise around. Let me do it again, and I really played it. And I shuffled those cards so long it was almost embarrassing. I mean, he was very sweet about it. We talked, got to know each other and things, personally and things like that. So I did the third time, and I'll be darned, those cards came up again. And I said, you know what? I'm blocked for some reason. Let's do this later after the concert or whatever, I said.
I think the universe was definitely sending a message for sure.
Yes, but here's what happened. It didn't turn out that way at all. I
Really?
misread the cards.
Oh,
I put my personal feelings about him being a drug user into the cards and
uh,
seeing him as the victim. The three times I threw those cards within 6 months, his brother died on a motorcycle.
wow.
His band guitar player, rhythm guitar player, I believe it was. I can't think of his name, sorry, but he died on a motorcycle. And 6 months later than that, our mutual friend, Jimi Hendrix, died.
Wow.
And I realized when Jimmy went, that whole scene flashed back at me, and I realized that was the whole thing. And by using my own feelings of judgment, let's go with judgment. I
Mhm.
had no right to judge Greg for, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
And I built a scenario that wasn't accurate. So I put the cards away and I never touched them again. I play with them a little here and there, but very seldom,
So you knew Jimi Hendrix as well, you're saying?
yes,
Your mutual.
yes.
Wow.
I met Jimi Hendrix when I was 14 years old. But this isn't really about famous people.
Right.
However, I will tell you this because that's why I ask about ghosts, okay?
Okay.
Jimi Hendrix, I saw him for 4.5 years of my life, on and off at every concert he played in America, just about on the East Coast, Florida, Georgia, Alabama, and wherever we could drive to and the bands could play because they were mostly Florida, Georgia people. And so all these concerts were going on, and I would see him, and he was so sweet to me, always so polite, so respectful. Well, on my 18th birthday, he was playing. I can't recall if it was Atlanta or Miami, to be honest. I
Okay.
thought it was Miami all these years, but I'm not 100% certain. But anyway, it's around or right at my 18th birthday. And my brother friend tells him that it's my birthday. And he's so sweet. He says, I've known him all this time, just very briefly. And like I said, very respectful. He said, happy birthday, Kathy. And he said, may I give you your first 18-year-old birthday kiss?
Oh,
Right? Now, this would be the first time. Now, I only had one boyfriend before that, that, that for a few weeks. I mean, it was like I wasn't, and that was my age, it wasn't anybody much older. So I said yes, and I want to tell you that was the sweetest, most polite and respectful kiss, and there was no tongue. It was no, you're 18 now, you know what I mean? You're,
right.
and I never got over how sweet that was. And then he got up on stage. It was their turn later, and he always played late because he was the famous one, right? Or usually the most famous. And I remember that night. I remember he also introduced me personally to Carlos Santana, and I always thought that was special because I
Oh,
always loved him.
mhm.
And anyway, so he gets on stage and he announces it's my birthday to this crowd of I don't know how many thousands of people. And then
That's a very
he
special birthday.
dedicated, I know, and then he dedicated the song Little Wing to me. Okay.
Nice.
And I actually had I'll try to be brief, another experience the night before he left to go to the UK before he passed.
Mhm.
I'm in my little Volkswagen and I'm on the interstate coming into Tampa from south, I believe it is. And it's 11 o'clock at night and I must be getting off work. I'm really dog tired. And I hear somebody hollering, Kathy, Kathy, and I roll my window down and I look out and there's a limo, but there's a whole bunch of faces hanging out of the window calling for me. It was like the whole band.
Mhm.
But I didn't know at first who it was because I didn't see Jimmy. And I said, uh, I rolled my one. Who is this? And then I heard Jimmy say, "It's Jimmy, it's Jimmy." And the road in Tampa coming in will separate and go to St. Pete Beach and then Tampa, right?
Uh-huh.
And he hollered, he stuck his head out there and he hollered out. He says, "Come and party with us. We're in St. Pete at such and such hotel."
Oh,
And I was tired. I had sweated at whatever job I had done all day. I needed a bath. I wasn't in a party mood
right.
at all.
Present.
Even though it touched my heart, that I got called out on the interstate at 11 at night, side by side with a limo. It was funny. So I said, I'm too tired, gotta work tomorrow. I promise when you come back, I'll come. I promise. I said it twice. And off we separated. The roads separated. And then, he passed. Okay, now
Wow.
2023, I was at my daughter's house laying on her bed. It was one of her days off, so I think it was a weekend. And she was watching TV, and I was meditating or listening to something on a podcast or reading. Oh, I think I was reading a book. I think I was reading a book. Anyway, all of a sudden, Jimmy's face is right in my face. It appeared. I could see like shoulders and yeah, from here up. Right in my face, he's smiling at a cat type grin, you know what I mean? Like, gotcha, And he gave me this message for another musician friend of mine on Facebook, Kevin Michael Estrella. He's a musician and he's does a radio station out of Canada. And he had interviewed me, so that's how we became friends. And he gave me this message. It didn't make any sense to me, and I slow down. I can't write it down, and my daughter's right there, and this is all telepathy and ghost stuff, and he gave me this really important message, and so and then it was kind of he was gone, and I'm in shock, but I wanted to hurry up before I forgot the message, so I started texting Kevin. And it turns out that Kevin, being a musician, when he was a young man before he ever touched drugs, he said he went to a concert. I don't know, Quebec. I forget which city, big city, but a big concert, and Jimmy was playing, and Jimmy hit a note. Now he said he had not done any drugs yet, or even beer. He was sober as anything, and Jimmy hit a note that he left his body and he went out into the universe and he never got over that note, and he's a musician and he's been trying to match that note, you know
Wow.
what I'm
Okay.
saying, for his whole life, many years, and he never forgot that experience. So Jimmy gave me this message to tell him he's on the right track with this music and this frequency. He literally, so I got it through, and this man interviewed me afterwards. Again, it'd be our second, I think it was our second interview. He literally cried talking to me about Jimmy and that experience and how hard he has actually tried to hit that note or find that frequency. And that message was actually hit home so deep that I didn't even realize it.
Wow.
I'd even forgot it right after I texted it. I couldn't even tell you what it was, you know.
That's
Anyway, I've had a
fascinating.
second experience with Jimmy's ghost, but let's leave that one for now. And Wow, that's all I can say.
You have some amazing stories. I could literally just listen to your stories all day. It's pretty fascinating. Please continue.
Okay, well, I have to go back to younger age. I'm not very chronological. It just doesn't work for me that way. My
Okay.
life's been long and there's stories, but I have to bounce around.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, so
in
like,
2012, I had a condo and I had my son's guard dog, trained guard dog with me. He was an Australian Shepherd, beautiful dog. And I had a friend, a roommate that I took on because she was waiting to get on disability and needed a room. And so I had Robin, my good friend. And we had asked a neighbor who was 6'5", big guy,
yeah,
who said he did computer repairs, and we asked him to defrag my computer. And there was two computers, two desks where Robin could play and I could play. And so we were all upstairs getting to know each other, and talking, and the doorbell rang. So I go running downstairs, dog right by my side, like he should be. And usually this dog would eat anybody,
oh
especially another dog. I had to really watch him with that. But he would eat anybody that he didn't know, or, you know what I mean? Sharp
my
dog. Let's
God,
just go
yeah.
there. Very protective, always with me. Okay. And I had him 12 years. It seems like 12 years. I'm not sure, but I had him a long time. And I opened the door, and there is this 5 foot egg shaped mass of dark moving smoke. I'll say smoke, but I
Okay.
could see through it. But it didn't feel evil, even
Okay.
though it was black. Okay, it didn't. And it just floated in front of me, came in like it lived there, you know. And the thing was, that dog just watched it. It didn't try to get my
Right. He
attention,
kept
come
his prey
between
down.
us, growl, you know. It
Right.
didn't, but he saw it. I could see that he was looking too. And I looked up as my stairs were right next to the door, and it floated all really slowly, but all the way upstairs. And my friends are looking out now to see who was at the door, one on each side of the door. And it floated between them, and it went out my balcony, which had been opened, and there was a lake back there. And it just dissipated, just disappeared. I followed it up,
Amazing.
and and I asked Robin, I said, "Did you see that? Did you see that?" And yeah, I saw something, she said. And the guy who claimed to be Wiccan, in my heart, I thought, well, maybe he's familiar with spirits. Maybe he'll even know what it is. Maybe, I don't know. It was just, I thought, use his knowledge if he is Wiccan, because they're supposed to be the good guys, nature lovers and elementals and such.
Right.
So I looked at him to go ask him, what did you see? He was crying. This 6'5" man was
Oh,
terrified, crying,
no.
kind of pushed me aside, ran out and ran home, and he didn't finish defragging or anything.
Oh, no. Yeah, I think it's important for our audience members to know this is how it was explained to me because sometimes, automatically if we see something and it's black or whatever, we think, it's right off negative. Now, granted, a lot of times that's how, but you can get a sense or a feeling with it. And it was explained to me that from a being that I had communication with, his dimension was so far, you know, away from ours that that was just the way he appeared. But he was very friendly. So I just wanted to,
Yes. Well, over the years, the funny thing is, over the years, I have tried to draw it, and the more I draw what I saw, the best I can to draw smoke, you know what I'm saying, and the shape it was in, I have now found that it was a young Sasquatch.
oh,
I
wow.
am totally convinced now, finally, after all these other lessons that they've been giving me with other experiences and with craft and other beings, and and then meeting the Sasquatch, a family of five in 2023, right here in Florida, of all places, after living out west forever, as much as I could.
Well, they do
And for the
say
last
that
10 years.
Florida is, I mean, there are certain states where there's like an abundance of Sasquatch, and
Mhm.
Florida is one of those states. We're not the first, but we are.
We're number three. We're
Okay, I
number three. I keep up, darling.
do because you are
Yeah,
definitely
the Bigfoot
a
Festival
Sasquatch
is in two
lady.
weeks, so or the conference.
The funny thing is,
The
I was always terrified because of when I was a kid. Uh, I was terrified of Sasquatch because I didn't know anything about them. I never had any experience with them, but it didn't help because my siblings, they kind of played on that kind of thing. So
oh, I can imagine.
for
Yeah.
many years, and I still don't know that I wouldn't. That those are the only like ETs and everything. I'm fine, but Sasquatch only
Well, there's some bad ones, and there's some
exactly,
that the bad people have manipulated their DNA to be
exactly.
bad, to try to make soldiers or try to manipulate them, and wolf men and goat men and
It's a
who
shame.
knows, who knows, the cryptids, the dark ones. But anyway, yeah, I finally figured out that was a young Sasquatch.
No,
So
that's
they have
amazing.
actually been in my life a lot more than I realized. I've been in 8 states. I've lived in 8 states, and in every one of them, I've had an experience of some sort. And a lot of them are to have to do with Sasquatch, but never an out and out face to face. Just like, did I see that thing move and peek at me? Things like that, and the pine cones at me, and so I just didn't realize. And I've been in their territory a few times, and I did have telepathy with them, but not like I did when I came to Florida for some reason.
Okay.
Yeah, but I don't know if you want to go there or go back to another craft or
Wherever you
I
are.
think I'd like to stay with the Sasquatch only because for right now, because the Great Florida
I was
Bigfoot
just going to
Conference is
say that
coming.
might
Yeah.
be a good thing to go on right now because the Sasquatch conference or whatever you want to call it in Ocala, I think it's coming up this
Yes.
next month.
June 13th. Lily's coming with me.
No, I want to go,
And
but it's just gonna
it it
gotta
went
be
up $10 since
financing.
last year. Yeah. I think this is my third year or fourth, third. I think it's third year that I've been going. I don't want to miss any more if I can help it. They're a lot of fun. And you learn so much, my goodness.
Yes.
Uh, okay, well, let me tell you, I broke up with my boyfriend of 5 years, and I came to live with my daughter in Brooksville, Florida, 2021, I believe October,
Mhm.
and we squeezed together in her room, and she had a king size bed, or no, it was a queen size bed, but we shared her bed for a while because we couldn't afford anything different, and I needed a landing spot real bad, and so after a few months, now I'm coming from out west where I was doing a lot of hiking. I mean, I've hiked every mountain except one on the whole West Coast from California up. Uh, and the one I didn't get to was Mount Whitney because of the COVID. They closed it. And we tried to go around back roads and we couldn't get in that way either. So gave up on Mount Whitney. But and I've had a lot of experiences in there,
Mhm.
a lot. Like I said, pine cones, peeping, and just other things, fairies, orbs. I mean, I'm telling you, I've had a lot of experiences in those areas. But so in Brooksville, I'm in an apartment, and I'm getting very bored of not being in nature. It's like eating me alive. And I'm walking my dog, but that's a whole nother story. I don't take her on my hikes because she can't keep up and she's little. But so anyway, I started asking around. I want a place to hike, but I don't feel safe here because keep seeing people come out of the woods that look homeless. And anyway, so eventually my daughter twice gave me the name from somebody in Orlando who had used the bike trails in this area that's close to our house. And so she told me the name, and I looked it up, and I go, I'm going to be brave, and I'm going to do this. Now, I was not looking for anything except nature, hiking to build up my cardio, and because I don't slow hike, I don't just look, I hike, and so I started hiking in there, and it's about 2 to 4 miles. You can go. all four, or you can go two. The first time I went in, I went all four. And one of the first things after I went in, and I go in the morning, early in 8:30, the first time I went through, I found where Sasquatch had broken a huge oak tree, huge, more than a foot around,
Oh.
and and it was laid across the trail. And I found that in all the states I've been in, if there's a log that's fresh broken, no insects, nothing, no reason for it to be broken, and laid across the trail, there's a reason, right? I have learned that. They've gotten that through to me very clearly out west. So, and I respect that.
Yeah.
But I had to finish the trail. I had to find, I had to get to the end. And so now another thing I should say, when I'm doing this hiking, if there's nobody around me, I'm praying out loud.
Mhm.
If people are around me, I'm praying in my head. But on these walks, I'm connecting with my creator. Okay. And I have heard, because I have studied some Native American practices, religion, whatever you wish to call it. They say if you have a Sasquatch in your life, especially if you're young or you have dreams of them, that they could be your number one spirit totem, your totem animal.
Mhm.
And that would be the very bottom of your totem. And so I feel that I have one as a guide. I do. That's why I think that these things are happening and have been happening for me. And I just needed to put some things together. And anyway, so I'm hiking and I see the tree. I take a real short little video of it. And I go, is this squatchy or not? Or something like that. And that was it. And I put it on Facebook and I kept hiking and I left. And then I came back. I think I did about 3 times a week. And I would go to this place where they would gift me with organic apples and fruit and vegetables and stuff, carrots, things like that. And I know you're not supposed to feed the wild animals, but
I don't want to interrupt you, but we're almost out of time. I'm sorry.
okay, let me remind me where we leave off.
So, no, continue. It will actually be, will be cut off, unfortunately, until another day. So,
Oh no.
yeah.
Okay. Okay. So after hiking in there and leaving some organic food in there here and there, I just put a few pieces so I wouldn't get caught by the park rangers.
Mhm.
Uh, I was sitting on a bench about 2 miles out, and I was sitting on a bench, took my shoes off, put my feet on the ground, and started meditating. And I had my eyes closed, and I went very deep in about 5 minutes or so less. I mean, I wasn't there long. I felt somebody sit on the bench next to me. I felt very close to me,
Mhm.
and I heard telepathically, "Don't open your eyes." So I
Wow.
didn't. I mean, I didn't feel fear. I didn't feel, but I felt like there was something, and I almost could, with my third eye, almost see her. To be honest, I
Okay.
could almost see her at that point, and I got welcome. That was her first thing, welcome. And then I'm starting to realize I'm doing telepathy. I might have a Sasquatch, a skunk ape, as they call them here, but a Sasquatch next to me. And so we talked back and forth, just little bits. Thank you for your kindness. We've heard your prayers. Oh, oh, I didn't know they were that close. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I hadn't even thought of them except for that incident with the tree. So anyway, I don't know, 2, 3 minutes, let's say, we talked, and then uh, she just was gone, and I could feel her get up off the thing, and I kept my eyes closed out of respect.
Mhm.
And I think that was she. If I had opened my eyes, I think it was sort of like she wouldn't have trusted me, and
Right.
we wouldn't have communicated. So I'm kind of thankful that I was guided to,
Right.
to do the right thing. And anyway, so I'm home. I posted it on Facebook, I think. I mean, I went nuts with it because of the love that I
Right.
felt in our
You
little
want to let
connection.
everybody know. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, exactly,
Bigfoot
exactly. And I had no proof. But one thing on our first conversation, I did tell her, I know that you don't like your pictures taken. Native Americans, the elders don't either.
Right.
So it's a thing. But so I promise you, I will never take your picture or videos. and I will protect you and your whereabouts with my life need be. And I said those words to her.
Wow.
And that's about when she was leaving. And anyway, so I kept walking through there, and after a few times, a few more, nothing, and disappointment, then all of a sudden I'm walking real fast one day, and she just steps right into the trail with me. She's walking on my left side. She's walking with me, and we're communicating. Welcome again. That was her first thing, and I didn't want to look at her direct because I thought that might be very rude or
Okay.
it might scare her, or I don't know. I just didn't feel it was the right thing to do. So I was kind of walking, talking like this, looking, and I realized she had a baby girl, a little baby
Wow.
on her back, which I had no clue. It was really quiet. It was so cute, and I really wanted to look at that, but I thought, no, that might be threatening, so I'm just kind of doing like this as much as I could with and not fall,
But you
trip
could.
over things.
Good.
Yeah, yeah. So we talked, and I asked her some questions. I asked her, "Do you have a religion, or do you have a creator, or do you have a higher being that?" And oh, yes, we do.
Wow.
We have a holy day that where we all get together at the same time. And I thought, all get together. She goes, "We have many clans."
Wow.
Uh-oh, I just saw something come up on the
Yeah,
screen.
it's fixing to real quickly before it ends. Can you tell people if they want to get in contact with you, how they can reach you? I'll go ahead and
Okay, Kathleen Tedder on Facebook. I have 3 group pages there, and my main page is professional, so it's open to anybody who would like to sign in. I just have to accept you. And I am on YouTube, but I don't have a lot there yet. I just have a few
get.
people. And Kathleen Tedder at yahoo.com. If
Great.
you need to talk to me, I
And
have
you're on my podcast show page, Third Eye Sister Souls podcast and more.
I should be there too. And yes, dear.
And Merlin, what's that?
Merlin with it starts with a G,
Okay.
but it's pronounced Merlin, hyphen spelled Merlin the male way. So it's female and male.
Okay.
And then I have AKA Kathleen Tedder in there just because people were confused. So it's a bit much, but
Well,
and
I
Facebook
thank
is where
you.
I'm at. I'm on Instagram. Yeah, I'm on Telegram. I'm on a lot, but I mainly am on Facebook.
Well, I thank you very much for letting me interview you today. And to my audience out there, we thank you so much. We send you light, love, peace, happiness, joy, wherever you are in the world. And this will now conclude the interview with Kathleen Tedder, lifetime experiencer, psychic, telepathy, and psychometry, and just kind of like broad uh, base of all kinds of intuitive gifts. And it was a pleasure talking with you. Uh,
Thank you, Monique. Let's do this again and finish
oh,
up.
you got more amazing stories. It truly has been uh, quite fascinating to listen to. All right,
Well, you were easy to interview with, so thank you.
guys.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, goodbye.
Bye.